I am Maria Garcia de Fleury. Joseph was born in 1603 in Cupertino in the Kingdom of Naples, Italy. He lived his childhood and adolescence in simplicity. He had a very bad temper and read very poorly, giving others the impression that he was stupid and useless. Furthermore, he was so constantly overcome by ecstasies that it was impossible for him to pay attention to his tasks. When he got a job as a shoemaker, he quickly lost it. He then obtained a position looking after a stable at a Franciscan convent near Cupertino. The priests there, noticing his holiness and aptitude for penance, silence, humility, and obedience, the Franciscan priest decided that he could begin studying for the priesthood. Although Joseph was a very poor student, during his final exam, the examiner asked him a question on the only subject he knew well. He passed and was admitted to the order of the Friar Minor Conventual Franciscans. After his priestly ordination, he dedicated himself completely to a life of devotion to the Lord and his church. His profound devotion led him to the holiness forged through humility, voluntary mortification, and obedience. He consecrated himself to the Blessed Virgin Mary and promoted her devotion among all social classes as a wonderful path to a deeper Christian life and a deeper love for Jesus Christ. He recognized that he had little worldly knowledge and limited capacity for learning. At the same time, he was aware that his own cultural limitations were not a burden, but a spiritual gift that identified him with the humble and poor Christ. Therefore, Joseph dedicated himself to the simplest manual labor and to serving the poorest. He even called himself Brother Donkey. But friends, Joseph was imbued with a divine knowledge that made him capable of resolving some of the most complex theological dilemmas. On one occasion, while Christmas carols were being sung, he rose to the high altar and knelt in the air in ecstasies and prayer. People flocked for him for help and advice in the confessional, and he helped many to live a truly devout Christian life. However, he had to endure many severe trials and terrible temptations throughout his life. During the last 35 years of his priestly life, he was unable to celebrate Mass in public because he often, without being able to avoid it, would rise into the air, entering a state of ecstasy, something that occurred at almost every Mass. Even the slightest reference to anything related to God was enough to send him into ecstasy. Despite being transferred from one convent to another because his ecstasies caused disturbance in people, and despite the persecution he suffered from some who envied his gifts, he remained profoundly filled with the joy of abandoning himself to the divine providence. Joseph of Cupertino became famous for his miracles. Pope Clement XIII canonized him in 1767. He is the patron saint of air travelers, pilots, and people with intellectual disabilities, as well as those preparing for exams. He died on September 18, 1663, and was canonized in 1767 by Pope Clement XIII because he understood that Joseph Cupertino had given his life completely to God, and with God we always win.